Childish Gambino is one of my favorite artists, and I feel like he has two distinct musical careers. The first half is a provocative rapper pressing back against what people thought black men could be in media, and the second half is a funky, soulful hitmaker that can never seem to put on a shirt. He's just like me for real. So I want to combine the two sides of his career into one tier list. I don't know what I'm gonna pick, but let's see. Well, I'm gonna go in order here. So, I Am Just a Rapper. If you haven't heard I Am Just a Rapper, you should go back and listen to it. Honestly, just for novelty, if you like rap, if you like alternative hip hop, basically Childish Gambino, before he was even famous, before he was on a TV show, he was just in college. I think he's just out of college at this point. He just picked a bunch of indie and alternative rock songs at the time and just rapped his ass over it. Spazzed out. It's very early 2010, so yes, it is a lot of punchline rap on there, but it's really good. It's really good punchline rap over some of the hottest indie rock stuff at the time. And I do think that sets the tone for like a lot of the cloud rap stuff that happens and like mixing together of alternative and hip hop. So then we have Cul-de-sac. Now Cul-de-sac's classic mixtape. I mean, when you talk about continuing the legacy of Kanye and Lupe and kind of proving that you could be, an alternative, a different, but really taking it less serious, actually, like being a little bit more silly and a little bit more vulnerable with his emotions, I feel like. And also, this was a huge precursor to a lot of the rock rap crossover stuff that we're having today is Cul-de-sac. This album was produced by him and Ludwig Göransson. Ludwig went on to produce compositions for movies like Black Panther and Sinners. And on this, he's basically producing an entire indie rock album, and then Childish Gambino is just rapping on it, and it's amazing. I think there's still to this day nothing really sounds like it. Moving on, after that, we would have had EP, right? Yeah, we would have EP. The EP, classic, that's S tier. That's S tier Gambino right there. If you're somebody who was an early 2010s Gambino fan, this EP changed your life. It did. This EP is it's what got Freaks and Geeks was on this, which is the first big Childish Gambino song. It's the one that a lot of people came to who were in the blog era at the time on the Two Dope Boys and stuff. It's a lot of us who came to know him through that. On the EP, he brings a little electronic influence. He brings a little hip hop back into it. And I think it's just a cooler blend that it feels a little less forced. I don't think Cul-de-sac feels forced, but that's just the word that's coming to my mind right now. Okay, moving on. We got Camp. His first official album is A tier. I can't quite call it S tier. I want to call it S tier. When I was younger, I would have called it S tier because I really love Camp. I really related to and connected with it. But as I've gotten older and I relate to the themes on it less because I'm not in a all white environment growing up with white kids and stuff and having to deal with that sort of thing, I've kind of, I guess, healed from that a little bit. So some of it doesn't hit the same. And I think that when it doesn't hit the same is the production isn't quite as good as Childish Gambino's later work would be. And I think his rapping and singing voice isn't quite as refined as it would later be. So I think we'll put that one in the A tier. Then we're going to move on. This man got a lot of music. I didn't realize how long this video was going to be. All right. Then we're moving on to, what would it be? Royalty. Royalty is S tier. Royalty is S tier. Royalty is one of the best mixtapes of the 2010s. Royalty is S tier. But many people didn't listen to it because I don't think that, to me personally, it seems like Childish doesn't really promote his mixtapes like that. His mixtape, it's not on streaming. You got to look it up on YouTube. But Royalty, I think, is the best example of Childish just getting bars off. Like, if somebody asks me, hey, like, why is Childish considered like that with rapping? Like, I get it. He's a pop star in his own right, kind of like he has like funk hits and things like that, but why is he considered a great rapper? I just don't get it. I would play Royalty for them. I think it has just best bars, like bar for bar, line for line. I think it's Royalty. I'm taking the glasses off because I'm getting tired of looking at the glare, so I'm sure y'all are getting tired of looking at the glare. So next, we got the big one of the most seminal, most important hip-hop albums, if not albums, period, of the 2010s because of the internet. Now, obviously with that intro, we're putting it at S tier. I think still to this day, because the internet is my favorite Childish Gambino album, I personally still like rapping Gambino more than singing Gambino, not because singing Gambino is bad, just my personal taste or preference. This was the last pretty much all rapping Childish Gambino album. He really cut down on the punchline rap, quote unquote, which I love punchline rap. I love a good joke. I love talking about how you're the best rapper. But he pulled back on that and really talked about what was going on at the time with, the advent of social media. And, this was still during the World Star era. And I think that honestly, because the internet was a precursor for a lot of things that are going on in society today. I think that it was a very prescient album. A lot of stuff he's talking about, I think, is still relevant today. And I think the production still sounds very fresh today and kind of like nothing else. And I low-key think it's very influential in the way people don't talk about in the alternative hip-hop world. I think because the internet kind of set the tone for a lot of the sounds of alternative hip-hop for the next 10 years, which I could make a separate video about that. After that, we have Stone Mountain Kawhi. Stone Mountain Kawhi is another mixtape he did, and it kind of has Kawhi, which is a bunch of songs inspired by his time in Hawaii, which are very like electric keyboard, very poppy, happy songs. It's kind of like the precursor to Feels Like Summer, like that kind of hit sound that he would have later on. It's the precursor to that a bit. I don't like it. I don't like it. I like Feels Like Summer. I like Awaken My Love. I like what he would eventually do with that sound. I don't like Kawhi. I love Stone Mountain because I love rapping Gambino. I love when he just gets bars off. I love when he talks about where he's from, you know, Metro Atlanta, shout out. So I feel like that to me is a side of that's a side of Childish Gambino that we haven't gotten in a minute. So I'm going to put Stone Mountain Kawhi in the A tier. It's not quite S, but it's A, and I'll put it behind the other two albums. So now we have Awaken My Love, which is where most of the modern audience nowadays knows Childish Gambino for. It's essentially his funk album. It has Stay Woke on it, which, by the way, I hate what y'all did with Woke. That was our term. Y'all ruined it, and y'all nasty for that. But I'm going to put it high up in the B tier. I personally, like I've said multiple times in this video, I personally just enjoy rapping Gambino more than singing Gambino. I'm obviously in the minority of the world because apparently everyone loves his singing so much because that's when he became a superstar. I almost feel like my music is going to have a similar thing where the more I sing, it's like I notice in my stats a lot of times, the more I sing, the more popular it gets, but I love rapping. And I think it's important for men who, like I said, don't fit the stereotype of what you expect a black male rapper to be to rap, because it's annoying to me that you can have Ian and Yeet and you can have Jack Harlow, you have all these white boys and white girls, Georgiana Wynn, you could have all these white boys and white girls who ain't a lick of street, but then put on a trap beat, change their voice, and it's cool. But if a black person isn't the stereotype, they're too corny to rap. And I think it's very important to have rappers like Childish Gambino out there. So I'm personally, part of it is a political thing and part of it is just legitimately I like his rapping more than his singing. So that's why I'm gonna put Awaken My Love in the B tier. Good music, just not that. Then we're closing in. So now we got At a Vista, Untitled, whatever, that weird situation, the album he dropped during pandemic. There's a lot of highlights on that album, but a lot of it sounds like cool experiments, and it's tough for me to like go back and listen to Cool Experiments a bunch. Like one time is kind of cool, but I love the song with 21 Savage a lot. And then Little Foot, Big Foot, Get Out the Way. I'm glad you did a video for that one because that one's good. We're gonna put that in the B tier below Awaken My Love. And then we're gonna go Swarm, the Swarm album. I'm gonna put that C. I didn't like the show Swarm, and I also, the soundtrack was cool, but it was really for the show and I didn't like the show. And then the newest album, finally, Banjo and the New World, right? Banjo and the New World. I'm doing all this off of the top of my dome, so bear with me. But Banjo and the New World, I like it, man, but it's like tough. It's like real experimental. It's almost past alternative rap and into experimental rap. And I don't listen to too much experimental. I'm a huge alternative guy, but when you get into experimental, it's tough for me sometimes. But I know it's good. I just need to listen to it more to pick out the songs I enjoy. So I kind of want to put in the A tier. Just as I'm standing right now, I'm going to put it B tier above Awaken My Love. We got his early stuff before he became Childish Gambino, but we're not going to worry about that. We're worried about Childish Gambino projects. This is my tier list for Childish Gambino right here. This is it. We got Because the Internet, S tier. EP is S tier. Royalty is S tier. Cul-de-sac is A. Camp is A. Stone Mountain Kawhi is A. Because of Stone Mountain, not because of Kawhi. The newest album is B. Awaken My Love is B. At a Vista is B. I Am Just a Rapper 2 is B. I'm Just a Rapper 1 is B. Swarm is C. That's my tier list. Hopefully I didn't offend too many of y'all. I love Childish Gambino. Don't know how to end this video. Watch my other videos somewhere here. All right, peace.